Imagine a world where Naruto had Ultra Instinct. How would Naruto fare against his storage challenges? Would they even be a challenge anymore? Well, today I'm going to be covering this, and if you chads want to see a part 2, then go ahead and smash 500 likes. That said, hit it.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
What time is it? Oh crap, I'm late. Naruto wakes up groggily as he begins running as fast as he possibly can towards the direction of the academy. Realizing that he's late, he would end up jumping in through the window, and it would be at this moment that the entire class would start laughing. Naruto would start scratching the back of his head, being like, "Sorry, Iruka, I'm a bit late." And Iruka would be like, "All right, Naruto, just sit down in your seat." From here, Naruto goes to a spot. He would dap up Akamaru. He would dap up Shikamaru and Choji, and from here, Naruto would go on to just listen to Iruka. Eventually, an hour later, Iruka would tell them all that they're going to be doing combat training today, and the two people who are going to be fighting is going to be Naruto and Sasuke for the first match. Naruto immediately looking towards Sasuke, who is having a smile on his face and is talking to a bunch of the different girls that all have crushes on him, would look to him with a bit of envy in him, and he would think to himself, "I'm gonna crush this kid and wipe that smug look off of his face." From here, they make their way outside, and Iruka goes on to say, "Hajime," as Sasuke would immediately rush at Naruto, and almost instantly Sasuke would end up dropping Naruto and putting his fist almost close to his face, as he would then leave Naruto with a shocked expression as he lays on the floor, and Naruto would just think to himself, "So fast." As from here, Iruka would say, "All right, that's it. You guys need to do your hand symbols that pretty much represent that, they both agreed with it, and it's all in the name of training, right?" Now they would do so, and immediately what ends up happening is Naruto thinks to himself, how could he have lost? From here, Naruto goes home and just thinks to himself, if only he had a way of beating him. Suddenly, the next day, what would end up happening is Naruto would end up waking up. But during his sleep, Naruto would have actually had a very much so interesting dream. Now the dream went something like this. Naruto would be fishing, and suddenly a man with blue skin would walk over to him with strange white hair and a weird garments on, as he has this strange staff with him. Now we all know who this is. This would be my boy, Whis. Now, Whis looks at Naruto and would say, my, what are you doing?" As Naruto would tell him, "Oh, I'm just fishing right now." Now, Whis would say, "Oh, interesting. Are you trying to catch a quick delicacy?" And Naruto would say, "Hardly. This isn't exactly as good as you're probably thinking." But Whis watches on as Naruto attempts to catch these fish, and eventually Naruto would catch one, which would pique the attention of Whis as he thinks to himself that, the last time that he had saw somebody catch a fish, they were a lot more experienced, a lot older. This universe is a lot stranger than the one that he comes from. Not universe, but this. It's because I'm gonna be saying that Whis ended up kind of losing everything in the universe 7. Let's just say that universe got erased, and then universe 7 was kind of restarted. So that's why everything is all old, and now there's chakra and stuff like that, right? Chakra is just based off of ki, and it's the same thing. They just kind of use it differently, I guess we're gonna say. But just know, Naruto's still not gonna be flying or shooting ki blasts or any of that stuff. He's just gonna have Ultra Instinct, right? Because the what if isn't what if Naruto was saying, it's what if he had Ultra Instinct. If you guys do want to watch what if Naruto was saying, just know, boys, I already made that what if, so if y'all want, go check it out. But seriously, what pretty much ends up happening is Naruto catches this fish, right? And Whis is all like, "Oh, can I have some?" Naruto's like, "Sure." And he passes Whis the fish, and Whis just bites into it, and he's like, this is delicious. As he's like, may I have another? And Naruto's like, well, I'd have to catch another one. And Whis just goes, oh, well, I can catch one. And Naruto's like, all right, then catch one. Now Whis would tap the water with a staff as everything freezes. And Whis goes over to one as, he points at it and would say, here, boy, can you come grab it real quick? Now Naruto goes down, grabs the fish, and would actually grab a bunch of them. From here, Naruto starts up the fire once more and would proceed to give Whis the first one as soon as it's done. As he would ask him, how'd you do that? Was that some sort of time-stopping jutsu? And Whis would say, oh no, hardly. That was actually key. And Naruto is all like, oh, that's interesting. From here, Whis would say, I like you, kid. And I think that Beerus has actually had a long time since he's had a rival. I figure that it's about time that he would meet somebody in about, let's say, 20 years. So he would tap Naruto on the head with his staff, and from here Naruto, his eyes and hair changes colors immediately, and Whis is like, interesting, that hasn't happened since Son Goku. As from here, Naruto looks to him and says, what hasn't happened? As Naruto would then immediately just get whipped with the staff, and Naruto falls unconscious. He wakes up the next day and he feels just fine. He was healed by Whis, and just know that wasn't a dream. But Whis did alter his memories to make it seem like it was a dream, if that makes sense, right? But pretty much what ends up happening is Naruto would actually go to school just like usual, right? And during school, this is where things would kind of begin getting interesting, because everything stays normal. Naruto doesn't feel a thing, and I'm pretty sure you guys were probably expecting me to have Naruto change all of a sudden, but no, nothing happens. Naruto doesn't feel any faster, Naruto doesn't feel any stronger, Naruto doesn't feel any smarter, and nothing changes. About a month would go by, and eventually Naruto finds himself in class as he would have passed out due to lack of sleep. But Iruka would go up to him and knock him awake, as Naruto would say, huh? What? Yeah, sorry, Iruka, passed out a bit. Iruka says, Naruto, you need to start waking up for these lectures. It's disrespectful to pass out. As for Miri would say, today we're having combat training and you're facing off against Sasuke once more. Naruto from here looks towards the direction of Sasuke, who at this point has actually had the Uchiha massacre happen now. No, let's say not yet. But still Sasuke is, pretty happy and all that stuff. And Naruto just looks at Sasuke and would be not so happy, because it's like Sasuke's over there chilling, happy, and Naruto's just Naruto, right? But pretty much what ends up happening is Naruto goes to the area where they're going to be fighting, right? And as soon as the battle would be called, Naruto's just thinking to himself that things are going to go like usual. But for a brief instant, Naruto's eyes change colors, and it would be as if a heavy aura would awaken in front of everybody. Now Naruto from here goes on to look at Sasuke as he smirks, and when Sasuke throws a punch, Naruto easily dodges it by just weaving, and Sasuke throws another one, weave, and Sasuke's trying to land these punches, but it's just not happening. These punches are literally not landing, and Naruto is smirking as eventually Sasuke begins amping it up and he starts fighting him even harder. From here, Naruto ends up jumping into the air to dodge something, and because Naruto's body, his body knows what to do, but his body can't keep up with him. People, it's kind of like a thing where you wish you could jump 50 inches high, but you can't because your body can't. So as much as Naruto's body would be capable of dodging out of the way because of Ultra Instinct, Naruto's weak, fragile body just can't keep up with it. And eventually Naruto would get hit by Sasuke, getting knocked straight out of the arena. And from here, Sasuke looks at Naruto with a strange expression on his face. Everybody looks at Naruto and wonders what that was, as Naruto's hair had briefly changed for a moment. And suddenly Naruto looks at Sasuke and everybody's, they're like, whoa, that was awesome. Naruto smiles, and from here, it would be almost as if the biggest pain that he's ever felt in his life would strike him. Naruto screams, ah, as he would feel so much pain. And Naruto just looks to the direction of Iruka as he passes out. That would be the after effects of using Ultra Instinct. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys were thinking Naruto was going to get Ultra Instinct and immediately just start slapping everybody up, but no, that's not how Ultra Instinct works, because I'm not about to sit here and make Ultra Instinct weak. I'm not doing that. Ultra Instinct is gonna be Ultra Instinct. But the thing is, Naruto has to work on his body for Ultra Instinct to be Ultra Instinct, because it's like his body is so weak, it can't keep up with what he wants to do. Just imagine Goku had all his memories and all his powers, but his weak kid body just can't keep up. That's pretty much what's happening now. And though Naruto's body knows exactly what to do, like I said, can't. Like I literally said it 5 times, but still, yeah, it can't do it, right? And so pretty much what ends up happening is after Naruto realizes this and would wonder what happened, Naruto starts to actually train on his body. Now, Naruto starting to work on his body would actually ask Hiruzen what training regimen he should use for that. And Hiruzen would actually recommend him to go meet with a shinobi who could actually put him on a pretty good regimen. Now, this shinobi would be Might Guy, and Might Guy would meet Naruto at his house one of these days as he goes on to give him a full-on training regimen, telling Naruto to follow this to the T, and Naruto will see results. If he doesn't, then he wasn't training hard enough. And Naruto sees this guy with the bushy eyebrows and a bowl cut, and he would think to himself that this guy looks ridiculous. But Naruto decides to just do what it is that he says, and eventually Naruto would start seeing gains. Eventually, though, Naruto would notice that bushy brow guy was always hanging around with a kid who looked just like him. Naruto initially thought that that was his son, but ultimately would come to find out that it actually wasn't, and that Rock Lee was just a student of his that Might Guy was extremely passionate about. Naruto would get stronger and stronger by the years, and by the time that he would make it to his final year of the academy, Naruto would be capable of tapping into Ultra Instinct like instantly. It would be kind of like how Goku used the Kaioken against Frieza, where he would tap into it for short bursts, and that's all Naruto can do. And Naruto can only tap into those short bursts so very briefly. Now keep in mind, Goku has a body that has been trained for years and years and years and years. And he like pretty much like was done for after like 5 minutes of using Ultra Instinct. Like that pretty much almost killed him, right? And so what I'm going to be saying is Naruto gets a full 20 seconds of Ultra Instinct a day where it will work. And after that, Naruto, if he tries to go past that, let me tell you, he doesn't like it. So Naruto continues training on his body, improving his physical strength, and getting absolutely ripped. Like my boy gets shredded, not because he wants to, but because he has to, right? And Naruto gets to the point where, you know, he can now use 25 seconds of Ultra Instinct, uninterrupted, mind you. And finally, one of the last days would be coming where they're going to finally determine who the Rookie of the Year was. And Naruto would be so excited because the final thing would be, you know, the test, which is pretty much physical, fighting each other. Then there is one where they're going to be trying to hit targets. And then there's obviously going to be the written exam. Now, Naruto during the written exam gets a very mediocre score, barely passing. When it comes to the shuriken throwing, Naruto gets a very mediocre score once again. But when it comes to the combat portion, Iruka assigns them to face off against somebody, and Iruka would think to himself, he could just fight Sasuke. Like, Naruto's been at the bottom of the class. Let's just throw Sasuke a bone here, right? And so he would end up having to be assigned to face off against Sasuke. Now, Sasuke would be thinking to himself, this is going to be too easy. Like another like battle that I'm going to win easily. Like, let's go. And so what would pretty much end up happening is Naruto would be thinking to himself that it's finally time that he puts Sasuke out of that pedestal. Immediately, Iruka would say, Hajime, and Sasuke rushes at Naruto just as Naruto was expecting. Naruto from here would activate Ultra Instinct for 1 second, dodging out of the way of Sasuke's attack and tapping into it once more as Sasuke would continue attacking Naruto. Naruto begins dodging out of the way so easily. Let me tell you, like, it looks like Naruto's toying with Sasuke, and he would try to hit Sasuke back, but seeing as he's still in the early stages of Ultra Instinct, he can't even attack Sasuke when he's using Ultra Instinct. So he has to tap into it, get out of it, tap into it, get out of it to finally actually make it work. And like the way that it happens is Naruto's in Ultra Instinct, he dodges Sasuke's attacks, he tries to hit Sasuke, but Sasuke is able to dodge those, and then Sasuke comes back with more attacks. Eventually Naruto would make it to about the 16-second mark as Sasuke gets tired and jumps back, shooting a fire style fireball jutsu at him. Naruto jumps up into the air doing a backflip mid-air, and Sasuke has to watch as Naruto dodges it. He would then throw a kunai at the direction of Naruto, which Naruto dodges with perfect precision, grabbing the kunai kunai mid-air, landing as Sasuke rushes at him once more. Naruto continues to dodge, and finally, once Naruto notices that he has a perfect opening, he would be at about 20 seconds, right? Like at about 22, Naruto immediately deactivates Ultra Instinct and would punch Sasuke square in the face, sending Sasuke like tumbling out of the circle and leading Naruto to be the winner of the match. For the first time, Naruto beats Sasuke, and Sasuke would be absolutely dumbfounded, like, what? How did I lose to Naruto? The dude is a complete doofus, right? He would just be thinking to himself. And Iruka would actually be impressed. Iruka's like, hey, yo, like, Naruto just did that. Like, am I watching this right? And the fangirls, you know, obviously, fangirls being fangirls, they would start booing Naruto, but Naruto does not care. Like, he did it. He literally finally did it. And so what Naruto would end up doing is pretty much just watching as, you know, everybody starts being like mean to him. And by everybody, I mean the girls. But eventually Naruto's like, I don't care. Like, I just could not care less. And eventually the day would end, leading Naruto to actually overhear Mizuki telling another student about a hidden portion of the exam. Naruto, listening to this, thinks to himself, oh yeah, I want in on that. Like, I want to get Rookie of the Year. So not only am I going to pass this, but I'm going to also do that just so I can win. Eventually nighttime rolls around and Naruto goes into Hiruzen's office where the other kid would be there. But Naruto tells him, sorry kid, but I'm going to be Rookie of the Year. And from here, he would go on to pretty much knock him out and then put him outside, and Naruto grabs a scroll and rushes into the forest. Now, just like in canon, Naruto goes on to learn the ability of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and once he learns this, Mizuki would appear saying, Naruto, what are you doing here? Now Naruto looks to Mizuki and he would say, I took up that kid's offer. I want to be Rookie of the Year, so I figured if I do this, then I'll probably be that, right? And Mizuki laughs. He's like, oh, Naruto, you made this so easy, Mizuki would think, as Naruto would hand Mizuki the scroll foolishly, and Mizuki would try to slash at Naruto's throat. But last second, Naruto's Ultra Instinct activates, dodging out of the way of the attack, as Naruto looks at Mizuki with eyes of deer in headlights, right? And he says, why would you do that? And Mizuki says, Naruto, you fool. There was never no other portion to the exam. I'm taking the scroll and selling the secrets of the Hidden Leaf Village, and then I will be rich. As from here, Naruto turns to Mizuki and says, you tricked me. And from here, Naruto says, well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But fool me 3 times? I'm gonna punch you in the face. As from here, Naruto goes, multi-shadow clone jutsu! And immediately, like 1,000 shadow clones would appear, as Mizuki just looks at them and would think to himself, ain't no effing way. And from here, they jump him. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all, they leave this man looking how would they leave this man looking? Like, they pretty much leave him like a piece of gum that got stepped on the road. And it's GG's for Mizuki. I'm sorry. Like, bro straight goes to prison and then proceeds to get tortured right afterwards, as Naruto delivers the scroll right back to Hiruzen and tells him that he's sorry for stealing it, that he truly thought that, you know, that was another portion of the exam. Eventually, Iruka would arrive and he would be like, Naruto, as Naruto says, oh, don't worry, like, I gave him back the scroll. And Iruka sighs a breath of relief and he would be like, whew, well, I didn't expect that to come. And Naruto says, yeah, you probably didn't. As from here, what would end up happening is Naruto makes it back to the academy the next day and teams would be assigned. Team 7 would consist of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And they would be with Kakashi, as all the other teams would get picked up first, and that team would just sit there waiting as they're like, come on, Kakashi. 2 hours pass, nothing. 3 hours pass, and finally, the door would open, as a man with like silver-like hair would walk in and just rub the back of his head saying, sorry guys, I ran into a cat on the way here and I had to take the long way, as nobody would be buying the excuse. But Kakashi would go on to pretty much use just point up and be like, meet me upstairs, as everybody would do so. And eventually they all begin to tell him their own things, like, oh hey, my name is Sakura Haruno, and my goal is to I like, as you know, she looks at Sasuke, and Kakashi just can't help but thinking, oh boy, here we go, another girl who simply is here because she likes a boy. Then he looks at Naruto, which Naruto says, my goal is to become the Hokage and to get so strong to the point where I can use my special ability. And then Kakashi just thinks, special ability? As from here he looks at Sasuke, and Sasuke would say, my goal is not a goal, but it is something that will be turned into reality. I will restore my clan and kill a certain someone. Now Kakashi would look at Sasuke with this look of, come on bro, like seriously? As he would just be thinking to himself that no, he has another one of these kids who's after the path of revenge. But ultimately Kakashi would tell them all to just, get a good night's rest that day and to pretty much meet him in the forest for training the very next day. Now all of them end up going back home, and Sakura would be the one trying to get Sasuke to go on a date with her, right? From here, what would pretty much end up happening is Naruto sees Sasuke just walking off, right? And he would see him sit down on a bench. Sakura goes over there and Sasuke leaves. And Sakura would sit there and would think to herself, Sasuke, because Sasuke just told her that she's annoying, right? And that she doesn't know what it's like to be an orphan, right? Naruto this time around doesn't drink the spoiled milk. And so what pretty much ends up happening is Naruto goes on to lock Sasuke in the room using Ultra Instinct, right? And then transforms into Sasuke. And let me tell y'all, Naruto is down bad. Like bro is down atrocious. But what pretty much ends up happening is Naruto looks at Sakura and he sits right back down and he would say, hey, as Sakura looks at him and say, hey Sasuke, I understand what you mean. I'll change. I'll be nicer to Naruto. And Naruto's like, oh, like, yeah, that would be nice. As, Sasuke looks to Sakura and would sit down, beginning to like swing his feet back and forth and asking her, why she truly wants to become a ninja. Eventually things get kind of like stale and she would say, oh, well, it's because of this. And Naruto would look at her and start kind of trying to rizz her up. He would be like, I've always liked you, Sakura. And Sakura would be like, really, Sasuke? It's finally happening, right? Now Sakura looks at Sasuke and Naruto's looking at Sakura, and eventually they would both close their eyes. Now they begin getting closer and closer until finally they kiss. And as the kiss is happening, Sasuke would come out and would reveal himself, being like, Naruto! As Sakura opens her eyes and it would be Naruto who's the one that's kissing her. Now Sakura would be like, oh my god! And slaps the living life out of Naruto. Naruto gets smacked into the, like Naruto gets smacked so hard it literally breaks the fourth wall. And Naruto goes on to tell you to like the video because it helps out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. As from here, Sakura's like, you pervert! Her face turning red and Sasuke saying, Naruto, you weirdo! Naruto proceeds to look up and see Sakura as he can almost swear that he sees fiery aura come out of her. Then he turns to the left, sees Sasuke with an angry expression on his face, and Naruto knows exactly what he has to do. If he does not want to die at this exact moment, Naruto better activate Ultra Instinct and run for the hills, and that's exactly what Naruto does. My boy goes on to activate it so fast and dodge all of Sakura's hits as he runs off to his house, and Sakura would scream out, Naruto! Then you have Sasuke looking towards Sakura asking her what happened, and she would tell him exactly everything, and Sasuke just thinks to himself, oh nah, he's down bad. As Naruto's back at his house and he just thinks to himself, I almost died. And then he closes his eyes as he sits down by the door and just he feels his lips and he's like, I did it. Like I finally did it. Bro has bro has unwanted Riz. Bro literally has bro has rapist Riz. No way. Like Naruto is not him. I'm gonna tell y'all that Naruto is not him right now. But later on we're gonna work on that, right? We're gonna change Naruto and we're gonna fix him up. But for now, Naruto just bro did some unspeakable things. Like let me just tell y'all. Hey, but one saving grace is Naruto didn't kiss Sasuke this time. So hey, that's what's up. But regardless though, what pretty much ends up happening after this is Naruto would go back to training and he would try to avoid Sakura as much as possible that day, just making sure that he doesn't run into her, being terrified of the next day. But eventually it arrives, and when it does and Naruto arrives and he sees Sakura there, Naruto immediately kind of realizes that what he did was pretty messed up. So he goes over to Sakura and just says, "Hey Sakura, I know you really hate me right now, but I just want to tell you I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking straight and I was being a complete, just an awful person." And Sakura, after hearing this, she's like, "Naruto." Like, she literally wasn't expecting Naruto to apologize. He was expecting him to just be a goofball and play it off as if nothing happened. Sakura looks at Naruto and says, "Well, I admit that what happened wasn't right. Like, I didn't like it, but, you know, I didn't expect you to say sorry, so I forgive you. Just don't let it happen again." And Naruto is like, "I promise, Sakura, I'll never do something like that again." And, you know, she looks at him and then she smacks him in the face hard once more and says, "That's for messing up what I thought was my first kiss with Sasuke." And Sasuke's looking at Sakura and he just smirks and he's like, "That's funny." As suddenly we have Kakashi appear behind both of them and he goes on to say, my, so what happened yesterday?" And Naruto's like, "Nothing," with a red face. And Sakura, she also has a red face, a red expression, as, you know, she thinks that she kissed Sasuke, and that's just what she chalks it up to. I mean, transformation jutsu or not, Sasuke. And so what ends up happening is Kakashi goes on to explain the bell test, right? And immediately as soon as he does so, Sakura's like, "What? Wait, but there's only 2 bells." And Kakashi's like, "Exactly. One of you is going back to the academy." Naruto looks to Sakura and Sasuke and thinks to himself that if anybody deserves to go back to the academy, it should be him. So as soon as the match would start, Naruto would go into hiding alongside Sakura and Sasuke and would turn to both of them as he says, "Look, I messed up bad yesterday. Plus, if anybody deserves to go back to the academy, it's me. Sakura, you were always the smartest, and Sasuke, you've always been stronger than me. So you two deserve to go on. I'm going to be a distraction and help Sasuke get a hold of the bells. Sasuke, you're going to serve as a second distraction, and Sakura, go grab the bells for us." They all look at each other, they nod, and they proceed to pretty much rush at the direction of Kakashi as they all get into fighting position. And immediately Naruto comes flying in as, you know, he comes and tries to attack Kakashi, and Kakashi would easily dodge all of these blows. Naruto's just thinking to himself, does bro have ultra instinct? Like, look at his hair, it is silver and his eyes are black. So Naruto's like, oh no, he doesn't have ultra instinct. But from here, what would end up happening is Naruto continues to try to rush Kakashi. And ultimately, after so much rushing at him, eventually Naruto would cause Kakashi to have to put his book away, right? Because he is stronger and faster than the Naruto that we would have seen in the original. He would pretty much be comparable to that of weight, like he'd be comparable to the taijutsu levels of Sasuke and strength levels and strength levels of Rock Lee. Not speed levels, because he hasn't really been working on speed as much as he has been working on his physical like body strength, right? And so, you know, he's like kind of half of Lee, like with double the weights, right? And pretty much Naruto's doing pretty good. He's impressing Kakashi. This is when ultimately Sasuke jumps out from the tree and doing like a sort of somersault midair, just goes fire style, fireball jutsu, as he weaves the hand signs and the fireball lunges at Kakashi's direction. Kakashi would watch this all happen as he substitutes out of the way, and Sakura would appear right behind him as soon as he finishes that, trying to yank at the bells, and Kakashi would smirk, thinking to himself, they're using teamwork. From here, he would proceed to kick Sakura away, placing her in a genjutsu that knocks her out, as he turns back to Sasuke and then uses a different jutsu called the Headhunter jutsu to catch him off guard. Then looking to Naruto, Kakashi decides to easily just go over there and taijutsu beat him, right? But the second that Kakashi goes onto the offensive, Naruto, noticing this, his body just taps into Ultra Instinct, and he immediately starts dodging all of Kakashi's attacks. He would be using a kunai and moving at like 30%, and when he realizes that Naruto dodges him easily, he would ramp it up to 50. Then 60, then 70, then 80. And Kakashi's shocked, like Naruto's abilities to dodge is insane. And his hair color just changed, which is shocking Kakashi. He's like, what is that? He would think to himself, is that his ability? And as Naruto was dodging, eventually he would realize that he doesn't only has a couple of seconds left, because Kakashi didn't stop. And eventually Naruto would continue dodging until after he gets to the point where he pushes Ultra Instinct too far. He makes it to 35 seconds, right? And at that moment, Naruto braces for impact as he knows, and he just feels the biggest pain of his life, like lightning is just striking him constantly, and Naruto falls to the ground with Kakashi wondering what that was. Now Naruto wakes up about an hour later, and Team 7 is around him as Sasuke tells him, "Get up, dope, we passed." And Naruto's like, we passed? And Kakashi's like, yeah, this was really about teamwork, not about who could take these bells, because in reality, a Genin's never going to take bells away from a Jonin. And from here, Naruto smiles and he looks towards the team as he says, "We did it," right? From here, they all go on to eat their lunch, and what would pretty much end up going down is they go on to have about 2 weeks worth of worthless missions, which I'm just going to skip, and eventually they find themselves in the Hokage's office. Now, this interaction goes down just like it does in canon. Naruto speaks up for Team 7, and they end up getting assigned to the mission of protecting Tazuna, the bridge builder, right? They go forth with this mission, and it would actually be very, very easy. For the first 30 minutes of it, nothing would happen until eventually the two demon brothers would make their presence known by jumping out and quote-unquote killing Kakashi. But Naruto, who would easily be able to dodge out of the way and avoid the demon brothers' attacks, would this time not be scared and not be stuck stiff. So there's not exactly gonna be are you scared? Scaredy cat moment from Sasuke and Naruto, and instead Naruto's able to dodge out of the way and then attack as he actually hits one of the demon brothers, catching him off guard, and Sasuke takes care of the other one, leading Kakashi to be stunned by their performance, seeing as two Genin were actually capable of defeating the demon brothers, which actually shocks Kakashi a lot because they're very skilled and capable shinobis when it comes to like their pedigree of like ninja level that they're at. They're basically the Chunin level ninjas. So Kakashi thinks to himself, interesting, like these guys are definitely going to be ready for the Chunin exams. And what ends up pretty much happening is we end up getting a scene in which they continue, right? Now Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would be watching, and as they're there, Naruto's like kind of looking at Sakura, and Sakura looks back at him, and Naruto looks away, and she's like, was he like staring at me? And Naruto's still crushing over Sakura, obviously, but it's kind of slowly starting to go away as he realizes that he's really only been crushing on Sakura because he always wanted to one-up Sasuke, and because Sasuke, she liked Sasuke, Naruto wanted to take her from him just to show that he was better, right? That's always that's always the reason that Naruto was like Sakura, right? And so he realized this a lot earlier than in canon, and he would kind of midway through this mission realize this and just completely stop looking at Sakura that way. Eventually though, they make it to an area where there's a bunch of thick mist in a foggy area, and Tazuna would say it's a lot thicker than usual. That's what she said. And Naruto says, "Oh yeah, we can't even see," as Kakashi would just be like, "All right." Like Kakashi just like, he's like, "Stop, get on guards." And Naruto would be like, "Get on guards? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's a C rank mission. We're not." And Kakashi would then say, "Duck," as everybody has to duck underneath, and this sword would come flying at them as Zabuza Momochi would appear, and the iconic battle between Kakashi and Zabuza would go down, right? Now, this is when things would slightly begin to change in canon, right? Because Kakashi still ultimately gets trapped in the water prison jutsu, and Naruto's Ultra Instinct can't really help due to the fact that it's all defensive and not offensive quite yet, since he hasn't tapped into that certain state yet. But what ends up happening is, now hear me out, boys. What ends up happening is Naruto would be thrown as the shuriken, right? And Naruto still catches Zabuza off guard, and he would start sinking in the water, but he ultimately like activates Ultra Instinct, and it would almost be as if his body just like it went into double overtime. Naruto flew back up onto the water and started running on water, making his way back to Sasuke, with Zabuza being impressed at the fact that a mere Genin was capable of doing that. And Kakashi would be thinking to himself, he can water walk? Naruto makes it back to Sasuke, and Sasuke would be like, "How did you do that, Naruto?" And Naruto's out of Ultra Instinct now. He's like, "Do what?" And he's like, "You ran on water," with Naruto saying, "Oh, I don't know, like I just did it." And, he thinks to himself, like, I did that with Ultra Instinct. And, he just smirks, thinking to himself that he's getting better and better every day, right? But ultimately, what ends up happening is they would end up finding themselves in the same situation as Canon in terms of Haku appearing and, taking Zabuza away and being like, I'm hidden miss tracking ninja and all that stuff. And the team ultimately advancing to Tazuna's house. Now, everything would pretty much remain just as constant as it does in the canon timeline, and nothing really would actually end up changing here, which would actually be a very much so good thing. And what we pretty much end up happening is they just pretty much train with Kakashi once he wakes up. And I'm going to be saving you guys the formalities and just jumping straight into the action, which is what all of us, I'm pretty sure, are waiting for. Now, the day ultimately would come when Tazuna and, they would be on the bridge and Zabuza goes to attack them. Now, this happens just like you guys would be expecting. Obviously, Zabuza makes his presence known. Haku would end up facing off against Sasuke and ultimately getting stuck in the ice prison jutsu. Naruto arriving would instantly run in there and pretty much be like, I'm gonna help you, Sasuke. And because of this, things would actually get a lot more interesting, right? Because once Haku begins to pretty much start flying around and using higher levels of speed to tag them with Senbons and stuff like that, Naruto would be able to dodge them every now and then. He uses his normal dodging abilities and taps into Ultra Instinct when need be, but he would only use them for like half a second, so he would be able to tap into it, out of it, and into it, and out of it so fast that Haku couldn't even tell he was using that. So Haku ends up amping up the speed, and Sasuke has to unlock his Sharingan forcefully, or else he's pretty much gonna die to the Senbon. Now, Naruto, noticing this, would realize that Haku is getting way too fast, and eventually it would get to the point where Haku actually starts using real speed, and Sasuke literally can't dodge anymore. So Naruto grabs Sasuke, and grabbing onto his body, Naruto maneuvers in so many crazy ways and begins dodging all of Haku's bullets. Senbon, right? Until eventually Naruto would find it so hard to continue keeping up with the Ultra Instinct that he just passes out. Like, keep in mind, Naruto's body can't keep up with this forever, and Naruto passing out would lead Sasuke to realize that he pretty much sacrificed himself and took all of the Senbon needles onto himself for his sake. And Sasuke, seeing this, would be like, Naruto. He begins trying to shake Naruto awake, and Naruto's just on the ground, and Sasuke just looks at him as Haku would say, your friend was brave, but now it's your turn to join him, right? And Haku would begin trying to slowly start amping it up, and Sasuke's eyes, they begin morphing, right? And obviously I'm not going to give him the Mangekyo, right? It's not that, but he will tap into the 2 Tomoe on each eye. Now, Naruto would still be on the ground, right? Like, passed out due to the Ultra Instinct and the Senbon needles, but luckily he would have the ability to fall back on the Nine Tails chakra, which would begin healing him and making it better, right? Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. If Naruto didn't have the abilities of the Nine Tails, bro would have literally died right there. Because just imagine, worst pain ever, right, on your body because it just can't handle it, and then you get stabbed continuously in just a bunch of different places, right, pressure points and all that stuff. Yeah, Naruto would definitely die if it wasn't for the fact that he has the Kurama, right? And so what pretty much ends up happening is Naruto makes it like just as passed out, as Sasuke ultimately is the one who continues the fight with Haku. Being able to read the Senbon needles flying at him, Sasuke would be able to keep up with it, and Sasuke dodges and dodges and dodges and dodges and dodges, and ultimately it would lead to the point where Haku would be like, interesting. Eventually though, Sasuke, after dodging and keeping up with Haku so much, even though he does have the ability of the 2-stage Tomoe Sharingan, that doesn't improve his physical strength, so he can't break out of it. But ultimately Naruto begins rising up, right, as his Ultra Instinct would kind of begin getting corrupt, and when he stands, Naruto would have this kind of corrupt looking Ultra Instinct aura around him, as Kurama's chakra is taking over his body. And because he has the chakra, even though it's destroying Naruto's body to use Ultra Instinct, Naruto would be able to tap into it. And this means that he's using a version of Ultra Instinct that isn't all defense. it's all offense. Naruto's body is just moving, and it's almost as if he's a trained killer. It's like he is a weapon. Like Naruto is a weapon. He's not a person, he's a literal weapon. Now that is what Naruto is. And he rushes at Haku and begins landing like deadly blows on him. He smashes Haku out of the crystal mirror, and Haku literally has no response to Naruto. He begins thrashing Haku around, and like Sasuke, who's watching all this happen with his Tsutomomi, literally can't keep up. That's how fast Naruto's moving. And Naruto just absolutely like destroys Haku, punching a hole straight through Haku's stomach, just being enraged at the fact that, you know, he took him out and Sasuke could have like died right there, and he could have died right there. And since Naruto, you know, like doesn't break the mask, he doesn't realize Haku was the girl that was in the forest, right? And what pretty much goes down is Haku isn't able to jump in the way of Zabuza. So we don't get that moment in which Naruto gives his first talk no jutsu. And instead, we get a moment in which Team 7 has to form a bunch of shadow clones, and, you know, or actually, no, not even that, because what pretty much ends up happening is Naruto's Ultra Instinct state stays on. And by the time the Kakashi pierces Zabuza with the Chidori, Gato and his men would be right there. And they would say, my, so it looks like that dog Zabuza wasn't able to complete the mission. Well, boys, if they can't do it, you gotta do it yourself, am I right? And all of them would be like, yeah, boss. As from here, you know, Gato goes up to Zabuza's body and kicks him, right? And he would say, look, you guys either get out of here or my men will handle you. And Naruto, like him still being in full, like, attack mode, would be like, all right, bet. And in a flash, like literally, if you blink, you would have missed it. Everybody falls down to the ground. They're literally dead. Naruto would have used the claws to kill like literally like 50 people, including Gato. And Gato would have pretty much had his heart ripped out by Naruto, as he would have kicked him into the water, and Gato would literally be sinking in with blood pouring into the water, and Naruto just looking back to Team 7. Naruto from here looks at Kakashi and blitzes at him, but midway through attacking him, Naruto just falls into complete unconsciousness, and Team 7 would be like, what was that? Like, Kakashi has literally never seen a ninja move that fast. He would think to himself that he literally just rivaled Minato. Like, what is up with this? And Naruto just is completely unconscious. He finally makes it back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and in that room, Hiruzen and Kakashi would be waiting. They would ask Naruto what that ability was, and Naruto says, what are they talking about? Like, he passed out when he was fighting Haku, and Sasuke definitely handled it, right? And Kakashi says, no, Naruto. The second that, you know, like the second that Sasuke was looking like he had no other way out, and it was over for him, you stood up with this strange aura around you, and you proceeded to kill Haku. Then Gato and his men appeared, and luckily for us, they were there, because if it wasn't the case, you probably would have attacked us too. And Naruto looks at Kakashi and is like, what? And then Kakashi says, you killed like 60 men. And Naruto's like, I didn't. Like, I don't remember that. And Kakashi would be like, of course you don't, Naruto, but we saw it all happen. And, you know, Hiruzen would say, Naruto, like, this is a very strange ability that you have. Are you sure you have no idea where this manifested from? And Kakashi says, Naruto, when you moved as fast as the 4th Hokage, if not faster. Your body did things that I would have never expected from a kid. You had an entire tail behind you. And that's why Naruto was able to, you know, move that fast. You know, as fast as, you know, Minato levels, right? And ultimately, Kakashi looks at him with just this expression of worry. And silence would immediately fill up the room, as Naruto looks down to his hand and realizing that he just killed that many men, would be completely shocked at what happened. He then says, Kakashi, I don't know. At this moment, tension would be so high in the room you could literally cut it with a butter knife. Naruto turns to Hiruzen, who would tell him that now Naruto is to resume back doing everything that he was doing before. However, this time he asks Kakashi to move on with precaution and to make sure that Naruto does not lose control again, saying that this time they got lucky that Gato and his men had arrived, but had that not been the case, Naruto might have. Kakashi stays silent, Hiruzen does so as well, and that would fill up the room. Everybody looks to Naruto, and Naruto would think to himself like what he could really do, right? Until, you know, suddenly we have another Anbu member, like a random ninja, coming in and being like, Hiruzen, we have another C rank mission. And Hiruzen would say, good day, Naruto. Go home, get some rest, and Kakashi will be talking with you in the morning. Naruto from here looks to Kakashi as he would say, all right, let's do that then. And from here, Kakashi and Naruto would find themselves inside of, their own places to live at, obviously. And the very next day they meet up again. Now, it's here that Kakashi would go on to tell the team about the Chunin exams, and seeing as Naruto does have that tendency to freak out and do all that stuff, Kakashi thinks to himself, maybe it's best that they don't enter the Chunin exams. But if he goes over and starts telling Naruto, hey, like, I don't think you should enter because you could lose control, that's going to hinder Naruto's confidence. That's going to make Naruto think that he's not good enough, that he's not able to control himself. And overall, that might hurt the team more than it could help it. So Kakashi would tell Naruto to keep his head up instead, and would tell him that it's about time that they all level up. One of them is going to become Chunin, and Kakashi would tell them about the Chunin exams, informing them that that's the reason why other other villagers from shinobi villages are here and stuff like that. And from here, they all kind of understand each other, when suddenly they would pretty much end up being asked by Sakura, what does this entail actually? And Kakashi's like, oh, well, pretty much you have to do a couple of tests, and whoever's the best is going to be promoted to Chunin. On some rare occasions, Hiruzen may even promote somebody else. And Sasuke would think to himself that that's going to be him. From here, however, we would jump to a different spot, and the entirety of Team 7 would have to face off against their own trials. Time skip because I don't want to cover that. And we jump right into the section where Lee pretty much ends up bodying Sasuke, right? That ends up still going down just because, yeah, Sasuke can now track and see Lee's movements, but that doesn't exactly mean he can keep up with them. So Sasuke still does ultimately end up losing, and it does take Lee a lot more difficulty to do so because this time he has to move a little bit more faster, but ultimately Sasuke still ends up taking an L and would pretty much be hitting the ground with anger, thinking to himself, how could he have lost with the two Tomoe Sharingan? He knows it's not perfect, but come on. And Naruto goes up to Sasuke as he tells him the truth. Truth is, Sasuke, you were able to keep up with him, right? Your body just couldn't keep up with what your eyes were seeing. And after Sasuke realizes that, he thinks to himself, I need to get faster. As Naruto says, then you need to start training with me. As, Naruto looks at Sasuke and would say, I'm faster than you, but I'm not smarter than you, and I'm probably not even stronger than you. But if we both train together, we could probably help each other out. Sasuke looks to Naruto and says, maybe. As from here, they both end up going to their own individual spots where they all get seated and separated equally amongst the test room, right? And everybody has to cheat through the Chunin exams test to see who passes and stuff like that. What ends up going down afterwards is actually going to be sort of interesting, because what pretty much ends up going down is Anko comes busting in through the window and tells them all to get ready for the next portion of the exam. From here, she goes on to hand out some death warrants, basically saying, if you die, not our fault. And let me tell you guys, if I was in the Chunin exams and I saw that I could die and that the village is basically saying, oh yeah, if you die, it's really not our fault, I'm quitting, bro. I'm a side character and I'm not putting my life on the line to become a Chunin. Like, it's not happening. I'm not doing it for a title. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be a genin to the day I die, just like Naruto, and not die potentially. You know what I mean? And so pretty much, does that make me a coward? Yes, definitely. Do I still embrace it? Yes, definitely. But yeah, I'm still gonna be live, so But anyways though, continuing on with the story, we find ourselves in the perspective of Team 7, and we would see everything through the eyes of Sakura. This time around, Naruto doesn't have to go off and take a leak, and pretty much what ends up happening this time is Naruto goes on to pretty much be towards the front of the team, as Sasuke would ask, what are we gonna do? Like, how should we go about finding a scroll? Naruto says that, Sasuke should probably come up with the idea, and Naruto thinks to himself that for now, they should probably just make their way towards the end goal, seeing as they'll probably meet other teams on their way there. They'll be a lot stronger, but that just means that it'll be more of a challenge for them, more of a way to prove that they're meant to be Chunin. And Sasuke thinks to himself that is true. Sasuke comes up with a plan to simply set up a base and ambush another team, and on their way to go try to find an area where they can just all relax at and not really have to worry about much, they would end up running into another ninja. Now this ninja would have actually crossed paths with them intentionally, and we all know exactly who this is. It's Orochimaru. As soon as Orochimaru makes his presence known, the team would immediately be on guard, and as soon as this would happen, Orochimaru would begin being a total creep. Bro starts licking his lips, looking at Sasuke, straight heating up. Bro's pulling a Hisoka right now, right? And eventually what would end up going down is Orochimaru starts letting out his killing intent, his bloodlust, which would lead Team 7 to be motionless. They can't move under the weight of all of this pressure. Orochimaru is literally him, and they can't deal with it, right? And so they're all stuck in place, and Naruto gets rushed at by Orochimaru first, seeing as Sasuke's all the way towards the back. And Naruto, he can't move until the final moment. Naruto barely dodges out of the way, and Sasuke was able to get out of the way via stabbing himself, because the pain that he felt was larger than the fear that he felt. And that's actually a very, very cool strategy. Like, if you're so scared of doing something, hit yourself and focus on the pain, because you won't have to worry about the fear, unless the pain will hinder you doing what you fear. But anyways, I digress. Continuing on with the story, we see a perspective between Orochimaru, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto, and they're in a middle of a heated standstill. They're all wondering how exactly they're all going to survive this, what they're going to do, and yada yada yada. And Naruto, who's watching all of this go down, would simply think to himself that they really don't have a lot of choices. It's either one or the other. Naruto thinking to himself, I don't know what to do. And so Naruto decides to himself that what's pretty much going to end up happening is Naruto's going to try to just rush in. Like, he's going to hope that his power is able to help him defeat Orochimaru. So he rushes in, deactivating Ultra Instinct. As Orochimaru tries to attack him with a snake jutsu, Naruto easily dodging it via UI, and Sasuke would watch as Naruto would dodge and weave all of the attacks of Orochimaru. Sasuke himself would feel a little jealousy towards the power of Naruto, and ultimately Naruto would begin getting tired, jumping away, leading Sasuke to be the one who gets lunged at. This is when Orochimaru, because Sasuke's afraid and Naruto isn't having a moment where he dodges out of the way and helps him, Orochimaru gets to bite down on Sasuke's neck, and after that happens, Sasuke would fall off of the tree, landing on the ground with a loud thud, as Orochimaru would smirk and say, I'll see you all next time, as he buries himself into the ground. And Naruto would watch this all as anger and fear would continue clouding his judgment. Naruto wasn't afraid of Orochimaru, as much so as he was afraid of what would happen if he let his emotions get the better of him. Naruto might have let loose and done something completely unspeakable. So Naruto, that's the reason that Naruto wasn't able to step in and try to defeat Orochimaru, because that's been plaguing his mind for so long. But realizing that he just did that, he would feel extremely saddened at the fact that he couldn't even save his own teammate. Like, what kind of a teammate is Naruto if he can't even defend the people who are supposed to be his brothers and sisters, right? Sakura and Sasuke. And so what pretty much ends up happening is they make their way towards a cave to let Sasuke rest up, and Naruto thinks that this isn't right. Like, if they continue going on, they'll make it to the tower before Sasuke, something bad happens to Sasuke. Like, it's a smarter idea if he just carries him on his back. So Naruto would create a shadow clone, and that shadow clone would grab Sasuke as they make their way towards the tower. Realizing they don't have a scroll and they lost their scroll to Orochimaru, who would have stole it from them, Naruto's wondering to himself what they do. He's in a state of panic and shock. And it's at this moment that the sound genin arrive. They immediately turn their attentions towards Sasuke, and they would say that they're taking him with them, as Naruto turns towards the direction of them and says they're not going anywhere with Sasuke, putting him down, as Naruto says that he's not playing around this time, and Naruto goes on to form 1,000 shadow clones, which would immediately surround the sound squad. And I'm gonna say it like this: they lose. I don't care how strong they are, how many clones they can take out individually until they finally get taken out, they're not beating 1,000 angry Naruto Naruto's with Ultra Instinct. It's not happening. And so those 1,000 clones would be able to ultimately be the undoing of the Sound siblings. And because of this, they would be able to get their scrolls taken because they would have captured both. And Naruto and his squad would make it back to the Chunin Tower, making it in time so that Kakashi could see the state of Sasuke and get him to a medical ninja, leading to Sasuke getting healed a lot faster and the curse mark being sealed a lot faster than in canon. Once Anko sees the curse mark, she would immediately leave the room and throw up on the ground as she gets flashbacks to the horrors that she had to endure when she was with Orochimaru. Everybody would be looking at Anko in the hallway, and Anko says, "What are you guys looking at?" As she says, "Go back to doing what you guys were doing." And from here, we would end up getting a scene in which Naruto watches as Gaara passes by his room, and Naruto wonders if he got there before they did. Naruto thought that they got there so fast, but apparently that guy got here before them? That's insane. That's crazy to him. But ultimately, Naruto proceeds to just wait in his room and wait up on Sasuke. Eventually, Sasuke's status would be deemed as healthy and that, he'll be fine. Like, not healthy, but like, he'll recover just fine. And Kakashi would explain to Sasuke the truth of the curse mark, how it's a power that will consume him if not taken care of, not kept in check. And since Sasuke didn't have that moment where he completely went crazy, Sasuke doesn't know what it feels like to use the curse mark yet. So we're probably going to get to see that later on. But for now, we're going to be jumping into something else, which is essentially just the preliminaries. Now, the preliminaries consist of easy battles, and because Sasuke had more days of rest, his battle against the shinobi who could siphon chakra would be an easy one. Following that, Kiba would have a little bit of a grudge match with Naruto, with it being a one-sided grudge, with Kiba instantly getting ready and preparing by saying, "Akamaru, you ready?" And Akamaru would nod, Kiba tossing a chakra pill towards his direction, leading Akamaru to morph into a Kiba version of him. And after this, Naruto would say, "That's cute, so I guess you guys are gonna try to jump me?" As Naruto would say, "Well, sorry to disappoint, Kiba," but as he would form 20 shadow clones. Kiba from here would say he's kidding if he thinks that that's gonna stop what's about to happen. And Kiba would say, "Fang over Fang," as he would immediately rush towards the direction of a bunch of the different Narutos, and in a classic Meta Knight fashion, that's a Super Smash Bros. Reference, bro would proceed to just start spinning like crazy and would take out a bunch of Naruto clones, going over and over and over and over and over and over again, just spamming the same move. Naruto, upon realizing that Kiba's pretty much just a one-trick pony, would end up calling Kiba out on that, saying, "Really? You're gonna rely on one singular move to beat me? This is what we're gonna be doing all day? Look, Kiba, if you want, you can keep using that jutsu, but I can keep pumping out more clones." Naruto creates 20 more, then 30. Kiba destroying more and more and more, and ultimately Kiba would start to get tired, as Naruto begins to think to himself that if this is a battle of attrition, Kiba's already lost. And that's exactly what would happen. Naruto has so much more stamina than Kiba that it wasn't even a contest from the beginning. The moment that this was a battle of stamina, Naruto already won before it even started. Naruto, after all, would defeat a lot of the characters in the Naruto verse if we're based off of just stamina and chakra based attacks alone. Naruto has so much of it that it won't even affect him. Naruto literally has been stated to have 27 times more chakra than Kakashi, and Kakashi, while being no slouch, has a lot of chakra, right? And so continuing on with the battles, we simply are told that there's going to be a 1-month training period. Now, during this 1-month training period, I'm going to be saying that things would actually remain constant. Now, let's say that Naruto and Jiraiya's relationship is still the same, but it is going to be changed due to the fact that Jiraiya is not going to be focusing so much so on teaching him the summoning or even the what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The abilities of the Nine Tails. Not trying to like really get him to learn that, right? But Naruto ultimately does learn the summoning, just a lot. It takes him a little bit longer. But Naruto was more so focused on trying to, get his speed up, get his strength up, and Jiraiya asking him how that ability works. Naruto explains it to Jiraiya in the simplest way, that it seems to be a sort of technique that makes his body move on its own. Because when it's active, Naruto doesn't think. he just acts. His body just does things, and Naruto just goes along with the flow. It's almost as if Naruto's thrown in the back seat and he just has to watch as everything that happens just, well, happens. Naruto having this happen would pretty much end up being in a different position, and what would pretty much end up going down is that Naruto would find himself in a would find himself in a awkward position, right? Because Jiraiya and himself would have been trying to like get closer and closer to mastering this jutsu, but when I tell you that they made literally no progress, it would be bad. Naruto made no progress because what he really needs is meditation. Naruto's already had the physical training, Naruto's already had the speed training. Naruto just needs to get in tune with his mind and body both at the same time. Naruto needs to stop thinking so hard about things, and that's the thing that's holding him back. Naruto's a thinker, just like Vegeta. That's the thing that's holding Naruto back from having the unlimited talent that he has at his disposal at any given moment. Autonomous Ultra Instinct. Continuing though, we jump back into the 1 month trial battles, and Naruto would be in the ring with Neji, as Neji would immediately start bad mouthing Naruto, telling him that, you know, he already lost, that he's, you know, the Hyuga's pride and joy, that he's a genius and Naruto's a nobody. And as soon as the battle would start, Naruto thinks to himself he can either sit here and, you know, try to fight Neji off with long distance, or Naruto can bank it all on the fact that he is able to dodge and maybe land an attack on Neji. And that's what Naruto does. Naruto wants to just hit Neji. Like, he doesn't want to beat him up with one hit, but he does want to land one singular attack on Neji. As soon as the battle would start, Naruto rushes at Neji running at top speeds, with Neji smirking, saying, "You are a fool, coming in and fighting me in my own domain," as he would say, 64 bombs! And he would try to attack Naruto with the 64 bomb attack, but Naruto would be dodging each and every single one. Neji would be shocked, and all of those who are watching this would think to themselves that there's no way. Hiyashi Hyuga would be forced to activate the Byakugan to watch everything that's happening, and he would realize that Neji's literally not landing a single blow on this Naruto kid. After the attack would be over and all 64 palms would be thrown, Naruto would then land an uppercut attack on Neji, sending him flying back, as Naruto would create 4 clones which would rush in at Neji, who would be stunned because at this moment he's thrown completely off guard by the fact that his attacks did not land, and Naruto would be capable of grabbing Neji, as Neji uses the spinning rotation move to throw all the clones off of him, and would then look towards the direction of Naruto, who would pop up from underneath and hit him with a secondary uppercut, sending Neji crashing into the wall, as Neji looks up at Naruto and asks, "How did you do it?" With Naruto looking down at Neji and saying, "Would you believe me if I told you it was luck?" Neji from here passes out into unconsciousness as Naruto watches Neji be carried away in a stretcher. And from here, Naruto would make himself back to the stands, where he proceeds to just wait on Sasuke to arrive. Sasuke from here goes on to take a long time to get back, and I'm saying a long time with like exclamation points. Bro literally almost gets ejected from the match, and Sakura would be asking Naruto, "Do you think he's gonna make it?" With Naruto saying, "Trust me, he's gonna be here. If anything, barely gonna get here." And from here, Sasuke would arrive in his new badass getup, as, you know, Sakura looking towards Sasuke would be shocked, thinking to herself, Sasuke definitely looks a lot better in that outfit than the one that he had before. As Sakura looks to Naruto and says, "Who do you think's gonna win?" With Naruto smirking and saying, "Sasuke for sure. I got my money on him all day." With Gaara looking over towards the direction of Naruto, then back up at a sign that says fandom, with Gaara being like, "What's fandom?" Well, let me tell you.
As anime fans, we love to show our support to our favorite shows by rocking anime apparel. But something I'm pretty sure we can all agree on is it's so expensive. So I've partnered up with Fandom to bring you all affordable, high quality anime merch that you are sure to love. And if you use my code Xehther at checkout, you can even get an extra 10% off the already affordable merch. Keep in mind, it does come from overseas sellers, so its sizing is going to be different since it's overseas. That said, let's get back into the video.
We immediately pick off our story in the perspective of Sasuke. Sasuke looks towards the direction of Gaara, who's immediately mean mugging him, and then he would turn to his right to see the Proctor, then looking up and seeing Naruto, who's pretty much giving him this thumbs up and this dopey look, and Naruto would just be thinking to himself that Sasuke should be more than enough to handle Gaara. Seeing as Sasuke was watching the battle between himself and Lee, Sasuke probably has found a couple of pointers that will help him in the journey that is going to be trying to ultimately defeat Gaara. And so what pretty much ends up happening is we end up getting this really cool scene in which Gaara and Sasuke are both kind of like looking at each other, and you know, they're kind of like each trying to mean mug each other, and like the panel is just like switching from Sasuke and Gaara, then it like zooms in on their eyes, and immediately in the background you just hear a distorted and blurred Hajime as the battle would immediately commence, and Gaara would look onto Sasuke as the sand would immediately begin blocking all of the attacks that Sasuke's throwing at him, except the fact that Sasuke would begin speeding up and Gaara would begin not having that much of an answer for it. Gaara suddenly begins having PTSD looking at Sasuke, who's using attacks eerily similar to the ones that Gaara was trying to block from Rock Lee, and this would be causing Gaara to be like, no, like I'm not gonna get almost beaten again. So he would immediately decide to pretty much just use his ultimate defense, his sand barrier, his sand something, whatever, but basically his sand dome. And what would pretty much end up happening is Sasuke just looks onto it as he questions to himself how in the world he's supposed to break into that. He would try kicks and then one fireball jutsu, which would make him realize that no regular jutsus are going to be getting through to that. So if he can't do that, then he's going to have to simply pierce the jutsu. And so Sasuke would jump back as he begins charging a Chidori, and the sounds of 1,000 birds would begin going crazy as his 2 Tomoe Sharingan would activate, and he would lunge in at the direction of Gaara, trying to stab into it, as he would ultimately do so, and Gaara would then after this begin running away from the village, screaming out, "My blood!" as the Sand siblings begin following suit, and Naruto, seeing Sasuke go after 3 shinobi, would immediately begin following him, deciding that it would be best for everybody here to handle this situation and Naruto to help Sasuke out, seeing as they can't lose Sasuke, you know, he's his teammate. So what ends up happening is Naruto chases after Sasuke, and eventually he is met with the challenge of Kankuro, who is sitting there trying to fight Naruto, making it so that Gaara can get away. And what ends up happening is that Naruto is stopped by Kankuro right before he's about to fight, or no, not Kankuro, but Shino, who would tell him that that's his fight. And so that fight would end up being a draw, just like in canon. And what ends up happening after that is we end up getting a dope scene in which Temari, you know, like she finally stops jumping and turns around, and you know, Sasuke's there and she's like, "Get away from Gaara," and Sasuke's like, "Get out of my way," as he shoots a jutsu at her, and she uses her wind thing to like blow it back, and Naruto just ends up arriving with Sasuke jumping off at the first instinct that he can, as Naruto is forced to face off against Temari, who is smirking, saying that friend of his is not going to be surviving a fight against Gaara, as Naruto says, "What makes you so sure?" And Temari says that he's a demon unlike any other, as Naruto says he's not a demon, he's just a man. As from here, Naruto closes his eyes and Temari would shoot a fan wind attack, right? As that wind would be so sharp, it would have cut Naruto, but Naruto dodged out of the way and begins rushing towards the direction of Temari, his eyes having a strange aura around him, and this strange like heat would be emanating off of Naruto, the heat being heavy and pressure and warm in terms of like how hot it actually is. She would begin instantly just getting shocked by that, and Naruto begins rushing closer and closer until ultimately it deactivates and Naruto lands a thunderous uppercut to Temari, sending her flying back, Naruto jumping into the air and saying, "Wind style, wind bullet jutsu," shooting a wind bullet at Temari, ultimately knocking her out and leading Naruto to rush in and trying to save Sasuke. What would end up happening is Sasuke would be mid-fight between Gaara, and he would have just been about to shoot a Chidori Chidori at him, with Gaara actually probably killing him had the attack clash happen, but Naruto jumps in the way, grabs Sasuke, and Gaara would end up destroying a tree nearby, with Naruto asking Sasuke what in the world he thinks he was doing. He could have died right there had it not been for him, with Sasuke saying to get out of his way, that this is his fight. Naruto looks at Sasuke and would say, "Are you dumb? Sasuke, he could have killed you. If I wasn't there." Sasuke cuts him off saying, "Naruto, shut up. I'm gonna finish this fight alone. I don't need that silly power of yours." As he would say, "I have my own." Sasuke then looking towards the direction of Naruto as his eyes would slightly change colors, as you know, the red Sharingan would begin like kind of changing, the hue would slightly change, right? As from here, one Tomoe extra would be added to his right eye, and he would look towards the direction of Gaara, as a curse mark aura would end up enveloping Sasuke, and Sasuke would look towards the direction of Gaara as he says, "Let's dance," blitzing towards the direction of Gaara, who at this moment would be rushing at Sasuke. Now Sasuke whips out a Chidori and blitzes it straight into the chest of Gaara, right? It would be at this moment that Gaara would fall to the ground and Sasuke stands over Gaara, but suddenly Gaara's body begins twitching as sand would erupt out of nowhere and he would transform into his gigantic Shukaku state, with Sasuke looking unto Naruto and Naruto saying, "This is your fight, remember?" Sasuke then looks to Naruto, gives him like a middle finger, and then rushes towards the direction of Gaara, who at this point has transformed and is looking down at him, trying to smash him with sand attacks. Shukaku himself would be thinking that hurt, as he would say that it's going to take a lot of chakra to heal that kid from that wound, and that if he hadn't came out at the moment he did, he would have surely killed him. Sasuke smirking and saying, "Good, he deserved it." As Naruto, hearing all of this coming out of Sasuke's mouth, would begin thinking to himself, what in the world has gotten into him? And Sasuke would rush in at the direction of Shukaku, as Shukaku, as of this moment, would be wondering to himself how strong this kid has gotten with that strange energy that's emanating off of him. But Sasuke begins lunging up, using his wall walking abilities to lunge and run on top of the body of Shukaku, as Shukaku hits Sasuke away and would call him a joke, shooting a bunch of sand at the direction of Sasuke, which would ultimately end up covering him, and Sasuke would barely be able to get out of the sand before more and more attacks would come in. Naruto says, "Sasuke, stay down," as Sasuke looks to Naruto and says, "I'll stay down when he's done." And Naruto from here goes on to say, "Gamabunta, I need you." He's saying, "Summoning contract," as he smashes his hand onto the ground and Gamabunta would appear. Having used a massive amount of his own chakra to summon him, Naruto then turns towards Gamabunta and says that he needs him to hold Shukaku down. After this, Gamabunta transforms into the nine-tailed beast, and Gamabunta would be holding onto Shukaku, as Gaara would be on the top of the head of Shukaku, and Sasuke would lunge up at the top of it, as he would end up striking down Gaara in a rage and actually killing him, piercing a Chidori straight through Gaara's chest, as all of the sand that would have built up Shukaku would fall to the ground, with Sasuke falling as well, and the Sand siblings arriving only to see that their brother is dead, and that Sasuke was the one that killed him. Tamari looks at him with this look of rage and just hatred, and she says that she'll never forgive them for that, as Sasuke says that, well, he won't forgive them for attacking the village, as they grab Gaara's body and they proceed to take him off, having to have a funeral and losing the tailed beast that was inside of him. For 10 years, Shukaku would not appear. And while that is a bad thing, it's actually also a good thing, considering that the Akatsuki can't do anything without Shukaku. Seeing as Ito's died, Shukaku also died. So his chakra has to reincarnate, but it's also going to be taking Shukaku 10 years to do so. So not exactly the best thing for the Akatsuki. However, for Naruto and the time that he's going to be having to train and the time that he's going to be having to not have to deal with the Akatsuki, let me tell you, it's a great thing. But ultimately after this, Sasuke looks to Naruto, as Naruto tells him that what he did was idiotic, and that Sasuke could have gotten himself killed, and what he did to that shinobi was unfair. It was unjust. He was taken over by the power of his Jinchuriki. then asking what he would do if he was taken over. Would he just kill Naruto as well? With Sasuke saying that he'll do what he has to. And Naruto looking at Sasuke with this look of, what happened to you? Like, you used to be so different. Like, this power's gone straight to your head, Sasuke. As Sasuke looks at Naruto and says that he has no idea what he's talking about, going over towards the direction of the village and simply making his way back, thinking to himself, what does Naruto know? As halfway there, he drops to one knee and realizes that his chakra is getting devoured easily by this curse mark energy thing, right? And Sasuke turns it off, and ultimately he would end up passing out due to exhaustion before he makes it back to the village. Kakashi ending up grabbing Sasuke and returning him back to the hospital, where Sasuke would wake up and ask what happened. Naruto would be in the hospital room as he would tell Sasuke that he lost control. And after thinking about what happened between himself and how he killed a bunch of people when he was out of control, he forgave Sasuke for what happened, thinking that it was probably just Sasuke out of control and that he had no idea what he was doing. So Naruto looks at Sasuke with a smile and says that he defeated Gaara. And by defeated, he took him out of commission forever. Sasuke looks to Naruto and says, oh, like, I did that? And Naruto says, yeah, you kinda did. With Sasuke saying, I need to control my power. And Naruto saying, don't worry, I did the same thing back at the bridge. It's looked like we're pretty much on even pages, right? As Sasuke looks to Naruto and says, kind of. As after this, Sasuke looks down to the ground and wonders to himself how he can fix this. And Naruto would be watching as Sasuke's just deep in thought, with Naruto exiting the room and ultimately Jiraiya walking over towards Naruto to inform him that they're going to be having to go in search of the next Hokage, Tsunade. And this is what would pretty much end up happening. During this journey, Naruto would still be taught the Rasengan, and it's now that Naruto could finally pair the gorgeous abilities of the Ultra Instinct alongside with the Rasengan to ultimately end up using some broken jutsus and lead Naruto into a much more dope path than he would have in the original. What ends up happening this time around is that when the Akatsuki would actually ultimately end up chasing after Naruto and trying to capture him in his hotel, Naruto, because of the fact that he has Ultra Instinct, would easily be able to hold off both Itachi and Kisame until Jiraiya shows up, which would be about 1 minute, right? Naruto having to use Ultra Instinct for a minute until Jiraiya arrives would give Jiraiya more than enough time to finally get there, the Sasuke stuff to happen, and ultimately Sasuke's hatred to be fueled even further by his brother Itachi, who would ultimately tell him that he's far too weak. This would affect Sasuke unlike anything that ever has affected him ever before. Sasuke would begin thinking to himself how weak he is, and the visions of the Tsukiyomi that Itachi had placed him under would not stop playing in his head. It's on constant loop. Sasuke can't get it out, and it's killing him. As this is all happening, Naruto and Jiraiya would end up confidently ending up going towards Tsunade and trying to get her to return to the village, only for her to deny this almost instantly, and Naruto having to face her in a little bit of a challenge thing, where she says that all she'll use is one finger to defeat him. Naruto would ultimately end up landing a powerful attack on Tsunade, and because Tsunade agreed to only use one finger, with Naruto having activated Ultra Instinct, it would be so easy for him to easily get close to Tsunade and land one simple attack on her, simply punching her in the face lightly as Tsunade decides that she lost. She has to go back to the village, and her title of legendary loser would well remain intact since Naruto defeated her. What ends up happening after this is we get the iconic battle between Naruto and Kabuto, Jiraiya and Tsunade versus Orochimaru. However, Naruto versus Kabuto is much more of an easier battle, and the final Rasengan that Naruto lands on Kabuto, or should I say first, would be the best Rasengan ever. Naruto would have tapped into his Ultra Instinct aura form, and he would have rushed towards the direction of Kabuto, as for the first time, Naruto was slightly able to implement offense, as he would tag Kabuto with this attack, and Kabuto would ultimately be defeated, leaving Orochimaru to have to retreat alongside Kabuto, and them returning to the village, only to find out that once Sasuke wakes up, he would have pretty much ended up deserting the village. We time skip everything all the way till Naruto ends up encountering Sasuke in the Valley of the End, seeing as everything else remains constant, and Naruto looks to Sasuke and he says, "Sasuke, wait!" Sasuke turns to Naruto saying, "What do you want, Naruto?" As Naruto says, You can't do this, Sasuke. You can't go off with that man in pursuit of power. Who knows what things he's gonna do? You have to know deep inside that he's not gonna offer you just power. He's gonna take things from you. You're really willing to sacrifice everything you have in the village for the pursuit of revenge? Are you serious, Sasuke? You have to be kidding. As Sasuke turns to Naruto and says, you don't know what it's like to have a family and have it ripped away from you. You never had one in the first place. To be called weak, to be spared, to have this guilt inside you that eats you up every day, knowing that you shouldn't have been the one spared. You're the weakest one, and you have to be the one destined to defeat him. It kills you inside every day, Naruto. With Naruto screaming, what? At least you had a family, Sasuke. I didn't have a family. I didn't have friends. I didn't have anything in the beginning, Sasuke. You got to experience what I never did. I grew up without a mother, a father, grandparents, uncles, anything. You were lucky. You should be grateful you got to have those experiences, and you can't throw that into my face saying that I have no idea what it's like, considering that, yeah, I don't know what it's like, but you don't know what it's like to be alone all your life. You've only been alone half of it. As Sasuke looks to Naruto and says, so what? You bring me back to the village and I end up leaving anyways. Why would you take me there anyways? You know I don't want to be there. You bringing me back to that village will only lead to more chaos. I will get out of that village and I will go in pursuit of my goals of defeating Itachi. I'm not gonna stop, Naruto. Naruto from here looks down at the ground, then back at Sasuke as he says, look, I'm not gonna force you to stay in the village, but I just have to ask you one thing, Sasuke. I need to know. If you finally defeat your brother, will you return to the village? Will your quest for revenge finally be over? Will you finally be satisfied after having killed him? What happens after that? Are you going to come to the village and return? Or do you think that Orochimaru will get to you by that time? Sasuke turns to Naruto and says that he does not intend on being killed by the time that he gets to Itachi, saying that he's going to do things regardless of whether he takes him back to the village or he goes with Orochimaru. Sasuke says he doesn't know if he'll return to the village after that, but if he doesn't, he can be rest assured that Sasuke won't be doing anything to the village. As Sasuke looks towards the direction of Naruto, and then would see that Naruto is just looking down at the ground. Naruto's confused because he knows he could defeat Sasuke and bring him back to the village, but the thing is that, how will that happen? Is Naruto going to have to tap into that power that he used on the bridge? And if he does, will he bring Sasuke back dead? Naruto's unsure if he can do it with just his base Ultra Instinct level right now, and he's just so confused because he could potentially kill Sasuke with that itself as well. Naruto was unsure of what to do, and ultimately he thinks to himself that it's better to just let Sasuke go now and see whatever happens, and ultimately just take him back to the village later. Naruto turns to Sasuke as he turns away from him and says, you can get out of here, Sasuke. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna make a big fuss. But just know, if you ever try to come back to the village and cause harm, I will kill you, Sasuke. Go and take out your brother. And after that's done, return to the village, or else I'm gonna go get you by force. As Sasuke turns to Naruto, and then begins running off towards the direction of Orochimaru. Naruto wondering to himself if what he did was the right thing. But ultimately we jump into a 3-year time skip, in which during this time Naruto would have ultimately spent a bunch of time with Jiraiya, and would have actually, instead of going off to different places and solving different things and, doing missions for people for money, Naruto would have ended up finding himself at the Sage Mode caves. Now, it would be at these caves where Naruto would end up learning how to master Ultra Instinct. Naruto would have started his training off by mastering Sage Mode because Jiraiya would have thought that potentially having a mastery over that would help him kind of understand his strange abilities a lot better. And that would have exactly been the case. Naruto, after learning Sage Mode and learning Control and learning Balance, would end up realizing that those are a couple elements that was missing. The Grand Elder Toad would end up helping Naruto out with his dilemma, and Naruto would end up having to go back to the real world whenever he had to eat, because he was not eating no crickets and mushrooms and rats and roaches and stuff. He was not doing it. He's not having no part in that. But ultimately, Naruto does master Ultra Instinct, and after that, boys, it's GG. Because once he returns back to the village, Naruto has the ability of going into his Ultra Instinct mode where his hair now turns white. And by the way, guys, retcon every single time that I said his hair turned like white. It didn't, because that was just Ultra Instinct Omen, not Ultra Instinct like mastered or anything like that. But now that it is mastered, Naruto's hair turns white. Naruto gets like the strange aura on his eyes, and the aura kind of dissipates, right? He doesn't really have it as much so, but you know, it's still very, very much so powerful. And Naruto has full control of his offensive and defensive capabilities when using Ultra Instinct. This means that Naruto at this present moment would be the most powerful character in the entire Naruto verse. There's not a single person that's going to be stopping him. And due to the fact that that Gaara mission isn't a thing, Naruto returns to the village only to grab stuff, brief Tsunade on the situation, and then ultimately set off on a course of trying to get Sasuke to come back. Knowing that he's more than strong enough to do so, Naruto begins using the information he collected alongside Jiraiya to track him down and ultimately find him at the base that he would have found him in the original. When doing so, Naruto would arrive and Sasuke would end up thinking to himself that he's much stronger than Naruto now. However, Naruto, once Sasuke begins trying to tap into his mind with the Sharingan, Naruto boxes him out using Ultra Instinct as he clears his mind, and there's nothing for Sasuke to tap into. Naruto from here goes on to ultimately grab Sasuke by the arm as he taps the back of his neck, knocking Sasuke out instantly, and then turning towards Orochimaru, who at this point looks in bewilderness at how powerful he's gotten, with Naruto slowly walking towards Orochimaru and saying, "Be gone." As Orochimaru looks towards the direction of Naruto, and with fear in his eyes, Orochimaru would begin rushing out of there. He would immediately get lost, with Naruto thinking to himself that was just one of the first couple of threats that he's going to be having to deal with. Next, the Akatsuki. And so Naruto and Sasuke would end up going after each and every single Akatsuki member, ultimately defeating them, with the battle against Itachi being a one and done deal in which Naruto being there to help Sasuke out would make everything a lot easier. And in the final moments of Itachi, when he says that he loves him no matter what, Naruto would question to himself what in the world that was, right? As they would both be left with more questions than answers. And suddenly a man with an orange mask would appear, having appeared from thin air, Sasuke being completely taken out, and Naruto being the only one standing in the path of the Obito to capture Sasuke and tell him the truth about the Leaf Village, the secrets of the Uchiha clan, and the truth about his family's massacre, the status of Itachi as the hero of the Hidden Leaf Village. And what would end up happening is Obito would try to get closer to Sasuke, but Naruto says to stand back, Obito not listening, and Naruto saying, "Fine, you don't want to listen? Don't listen then." As Obito from here blitzes towards the direction of Sasuke trying to grab him and teleport away, and Naruto instantly would blitz past Obito, having landed a plethora of blows before Obito could even register what happened. By the time that Obito's nervous system could even register that Naruto had moved, Obito would have multiple open wounds in his body. As Obito looks at Naruto, as he falls to the ground and just ultimately dies, Naruto would have torn Obito to shreds with Rasengan upon Rasengan upon Rasengan. Obito would be done for as he falls onto the ground, and the Akatsuki, without Obito, they're no more. That's it. The rest of the Akatsuki members can be taken out just as easily by Naruto, and that, ladies and gentlemen, would conclude, what if Naruto had Ultra Instinct?